Hey guys, welcome back. So we're on chapter 3 now of the S Plus professional new game run. Yeah, this chapter definitely has some spice to it. Whew.
Keep them busy, Leon.
Yeah, there's like a couple spots. We're also going to do our second save. I believe I did my second save here. Yeah. Yeah, imagine if you
Hope there's a lead on releasing.
if you flub up here and then you have to go and do the whole black robe fight again. Oh, that fight was rough. Oh, and did I say that that one was the hardest boss fight? Nah, the hardest boss fight was in this chapter, in my opinion. I completely forgot about this one. The boss fight that's going to be in this chapter, no, that was the hardest one. I think, yeah, this was the one that actually made me stop playing for like several days. Where I would do like a couple attempts, and I was just like, I just get so triggered. And it wasn't even because of the boss. It was the stuff that led up to it. I'll even show like the one example of one of the things that just bugged the hell out of me during this chapter was like one of the reasons why it took me. I think this was the reason why I was held back quite a bit from just like cruising through the. I wouldn't say cruising through this, but knocking this out a lot faster than
Have we here?
I anticipated. Because I didn't think it was going to take me this long to do it, but yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Right now, there's not a whole lot to do. We're just collecting more resources. We're preparing for... Yeah, you can open this up. I guess you can call that a jump scare if you want to, when the chicken runs right at the camera. I just wanted a free heal. Yeah, so I suppose this could be a what's gonna happen next could be a spot that might cause a problem. It's like how did he get there, and like where did he come from? I know he left, but he immediately walked over into the corner. I think it's kind of hilarious. This man teleported and he was silent as a mouse, and he did it rather quickly. And look, my favorite thing, the lunge. Like, yeah, I suppose this could be kind of tricky if you get absolutely cucked somehow. I never did. It didn't happen to me, so...
Still after me, huh?
The enemies seem to be, like, somewhat out of your way anyways. And I don't know if Mendez is as fast. I never really looked. If he's, like, hot on your heels. If he's got the speed of Mr. X on, like, hardcore. We come down here for a treasure. I actually do 2 saves this chapter, I just realized that. Yeah, it's been so long since I recorded this. This stuff was done like around when the game came out, or when the DLC came out. Because I beat the DLC and then I jumped immediately into the professional runs. So yeah, like I've had this stuff, and now that I'm seeing it, it's like jogging my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally did. I totally made 2 saves this chapter. Because this part, yeah, this was one of those sections that I didn't want to risk losing it in and then having to redo the black robe fight just to get up to this part to do it again, you know? Because what I was going to do, what I end up attempting to do can be pretty risky, I think.
Welcome. I got something new for a deal well struck. That's good work, if I do say so myself.
It's actually funny. I realized I never upgraded the handgun once, nor the TMP. No, actually I did. I upgraded the TMP at some point. It was at the very end though. The only thing I didn't upgrade was the handgun, because it was only mainly to be used to get like staggers on Ganados to run past them. Obviously, if I had plenty of the pistol ammo, I might as well use that instead. Yeah, so I did my second save here. So I do another save later on after I get through this section. Because there's like, yeah, obviously this DLC has a couple sections where it's like, I was unsure of it. So I was like, let's save, you know? Let's not, let's definitely not risk it. We're actually going to keep that tripwire right now because it's going to be used later on. And look, it's Leon's coat. They brought that back from the OG. So at least we find out what happened to his coat. That boy was swinging from far away, I tell ya. We send this straight to storage. I don't use this once at all. The blast crossbow, I don't use it at all. I never really ever found a use for it. I found it way too like inventory intensive for it to outweigh like its uses. Plus, I never really thought it was that strong. I tried using it. Maybe if I had a fully upgraded one, it might be different. But I don't know. I tried using it even on my first playthrough, and I ended up like hardly ever pulling it out because I was like, "Ooh, this could be like the Magnum for Ada," you know. But nah. I just ended up going right back to the rifle. The rifle's too trusty, you know. It's too good.
Not a soul in sight.
Now I'm like, I don't have any inventory. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I actually crafted handgun ammo? Wow, I completely forgot about that. It was all just to pick up stuff. That's okay, that's probably why I forgot. Because it was basically just to make room. I could have just sent that to storage. No, wait, you can't send resources to storage. Never mind.
Is this his frequency?
I knew you'd find me.
That's my job. Are you about ready to hand over the amber?
There's a big house just outside the village past the windmill. You know it?
Yeah, I know it.
Then I'll meet you here. I'll be waiting.
Alright, here's where the fun begins. Brought the Chainsaw family back. Vroom vroom. Yeah, that's what this DLC basically was. Anything that people thought was cut from like the base game ends up coming into ends up coming back in this DLC. It's kind of hilarious. But also really cool because I really liked this DLC because it definitely wasn't an asset flip like it was in the OG. So yeah, what we're doing here is we're immediately going over here. As soon as you see that door open, I'm gonna throw a flash grenade. Although here's the funny bit, I wanted to go right back into the to hit the wheel, and yeah, I ended up grappling melee, and I was like, ah, crap. Luckily, that Ganados was like, he was, oh, and yeah, that almost was a disaster. So if you don't end up doing what I did, where you grapple melee the enemy, which totally would have like screwed you over, you could probably get that door closed before even the big guy gets there, and you'd probably get the door open before the recovery of the female chainsaw lady. That was one of those situations that was almost terrible for me, but it worked out pretty well. So yeah, that's why I saved.
Having a bad day?
Wesker, to what do I owe this pleasure?
Stop wasting my time, Ada. Find Lewis. Fetch me the amber.
I should probably thank you for this room. Are you staying? To back me up?
I'm not here to babysit you. See that you remain an asset and not a liability. I have absolutely no use for your incompetence.
Easy with the threats, Wesker.
Just get it done. I'll be in touch.
You're okay. I've been waiting and you're still coming, right?
Yes, just had some business to attend to. I'm on my way now.
Got it. See you soon. Ciao.
But I also got that on my first attempt too, so that would be one of those ones that, like, if you're super confident in your ability to get through there without dying to the chainsaws, I would say go for it and save your save. You know, don't use the save there if you're like really confident in that, and you can get past there on your first try without dying. Yeah, you could save the save and use it somewhere else. You know, maybe if you don't agree with where my saves are. Because I'm definitely not going to say that my saves are like the be-all, end-all, the best way. Because I did this, like, there was really no prep in anything that I did here. Mainly, I just kind of worked things as I was going, you know? I just made things up on the fly. Like, I had certain strategies, you know, at times, where I was like, oh, hey, I thought about using the flash grenade. I'm glad I didn't use it there, though. But there was like, I would just be like, oh, hey. But there was also a reason why I wanted to use it. I was like, ugh, to get past those things, annoying. But, yeah, I was doing everything as I went. Like, if I died, then I'd be like, oh, well, let's try this. But I usually had like a baseline of things that I was going to do, where I'm like, I'm gonna try this and see if it works. But I would definitely say that the flash grenade for the chainsaw for the chainsaws, or for the chainsaw girl, is definitely something I could say that could be pretty consistent, I think. Because yeah, because even considering the fact that I got sent probably way farther away from the handle than I wanted to, I was still able to make it back. And even considering the fact that I had to knife the chainsaw lady just to get her out of the way of the door, I was still able to make it back and get the door open in time before she recovered. Because I would say that the other chainsaw guy, the male one, is probably not going to be that big of a problem. Oh, yeah, here's the example that I wanted to give of the stuff that I absolutely could not stand, and one of the reasons why I hate the freaking Ganados now. Right there. The sucker punch to the back of the head into a grab. So I figured I'd add that in there. I hated that. I couldn't stand it. That happened way too often, and it made me absolutely hate these enemies. Because it's like, they're supposed to be the most basic enemies in the game, right? You know? Like the zombies are and any of the other Resident Evils. Like, they're supposed to be the basic guys. But they did some of the most annoying shit in the game. Yeah, so be ready for when you hookshot into that room. That guy will more often than not throw an axe at you, so be ready for a perfect parry. It's probably going to be hard to see if you have your brightness as low as mine. So just be ready for that parry. Oh yeah, also, like, these enemies, like that guy, he'll throw an axe more often than not, at least a few times he did. Sometimes you'll stand there and then you're really going to be like anxious because you're running past him and he might swing at you. The one who was more annoying, she actually killed me once. The lady that comes out from the door on the left, because like sometimes she'll just lunge at you, and she grabbed me even though I knew that she didn't, and I was mad about it. Really mad about it. Like, this is the area where I started to hate the Ganados, and I actually ended up taking a break for like several days. I wouldn't say several days, but I would take breaks for long periods of time. I'd only play for maybe an hour or two to make an attempt, and then I'd come back and then like try, because like I just wanted to get to the boss, because the boss was the hardest part. And yeah, I know I said the black robe was the hardest boss. No, this is the hardest boss actually. The black robe was nothing, because obviously like I had to save right in front of the boss, so it allowed me to get right into the attempts a little bit quicker. This one I had to run, and then sometimes there'd be RNG just to get to this guy. And so, oh yeah, I can talk about so many things that frustrated me on this bit. But yeah, anyways, so like there was treasures that I was trying to grab, like when I was doing this, and I ended up just saying screw it. The only one I picked up was that one that I shot, which was the yellow diamond, which I needed, and then I basically just ran. I said screw it, the treasures weren't worth it. They weren't, because I was burning through all my health items before I even got to this fight, and you need them. I would say you definitely like want your healing items for this. So what I did was get up on the roof. You want to spend as much time as you can on the roof, and you want to try to do as much damage as you can, because there's going to be regular enemies down there on the ground, and they're going to be waiting for you. It happened to me several times, and it freaking pissed me off, I swear. But like yeah, so I unload on him with the TMP until his plaga pops out, and then I want to switch to the rifle, and then this is going to be a pain in the ass. So for people who may not be confident in their rifle shot, I'm sorry, but this is probably your best bet to do some damage. Or what I would say what you can do is try to get him knocked down on his, like when he falls down like this, use your knife. Do like the melee. But what I did was I decided to take like free pop shots at him. But you could probably use your knife, and I think it does more damage. I don't know how much damage it does, but I heard some people say that it does a lot of damage. So you see what happens there? You saw what happened there, right? They knocked me off the building. And this happened to me so many times. The fight, El Gigante didn't kill me most of the time. Like I think he killed me once where I made a mistake. And that was my fault, so I wasn't even like frustrated about it. I don't remember, I don't recall. But I know the things that killed me in this fight were the enemies, because they're sitting there, they're crowding the building basically. Although they don't look like it right now, you can see them over there, they're just hanging out. But like once he destroys the building, you'll fall down and you do the roll, and you're basically stuck in the animation, you have to wait. And as soon as like you're rolling down, the enemies are running at you, ready to hit you. And it happened to me so many times. I died. Where I'm getting back up, and the enemies were there, and they hit me and killed me, because I had no heal. I had no healing. Yeah, it was some of the most awful things. And like, I understand why they did it, why they put them in there to give a little bit extra. Yeah, this building doesn't stand the test of time at all. he just comes in there and smacks it, and it's like, well, there you go. Because like, yeah, your best bet is basically you've got probably 4 tries, I guess, like 4 building pieces before like you got nothing. And then you're gonna have to fight them on the ground, and that's gonna be difficult because you're gonna have like ganados up your ass, and that's not something you really want, especially when you're trying to line up these shots, which I'm missing. Like, this fight took the most tries out of anything. So yeah, so eventually I ended up doing this, where I just said, hey, let me use the melee here. I started to do that, yeah. Because I figured maybe it might be able to buy me some more time where he's not destroying the building. And he can also grab you too when you're trying to hookshot. Sometimes he does that. He'll just grab you. It's like just plucks you right out of the air. But yeah, that's why I do the rifle, because like he's tanky too though. He's really tanky. It's like I don't really know like the best strat. Maybe you could probably check out some speedrunners who are running this game. Maybe they have a better strat for this, but this is just what I used. And yeah, it's rough.
Hey, got a smoke?
I do.
It's definitely a rough fight.
Now where's the amber?
Fortunately, it's not on me at the moment. And you
So I don't mind talking over this cutscene because it's mostly like, this is a base game cutscene, so people have probably seen this one many times. And Luis in the OG outfit. But I would say that this chapter is up there with probably one of the tougher ones. I know there was another one, I think it was 4 or 5, that was a really tough one. I'll know it when I see it though. But yeah, pretty much after this cutscene, that's the end of this chapter. But yeah, this chapter was probably up there with one of the most difficult. And that's why I did 2 saves for it, so... Now we're basically even with the chapters that we're on with our saves. So yeah, that takes it for that takes care of chapter 3 in this playthrough, this professional S+ rank playthrough, new game. I will see you guys in chapter 4. If you guys like this content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more from me. I do plenty of Resident Evil games, so be sure to check those out too. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's 17 minutes from that chapter. Good pace. Nice accuracy.